Okay, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, March 15th, 2023. It's 10 a.m. We are in conference room 430 at the state capitol. This is the Committee on Corrections, Military and Veterans Affairs. I am the chair, Mark Hashem. To my left is the vice chair, Corey Chun. And first up on our agenda today, we have SB 710 relating to incarcerated women. First up to testify is Department of Public Safety in support.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. I'm Tommy Johnson, Director of Public Safety. We'll stand on our written testimony in support, and we'd just like to point out we made some recommended amendments in paragraph 3.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Department of Education in support.
Department staff members testimony in support.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have University of Hawaii with comments. Whoa, University of Hawaii System supports?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Della Teraoka representing UH Community Colleges. We stand in support with our testimony.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have Community Alliance on Prisons in support. Strong support. Oh, not here. Next, we have Women's Prisons Project in support.
Good morning. You have our testimony. I would like to just point out a couple of things. One is that we also are making some recommendations for some amendments. One has to do with deleting references to McKinley Community School and deleting the grant under HRS Chapter 42 and inserting an appropriation for education and reentry program to be administered by University of Hawaii Windward Community College. And I also just want to point out that research shows that this is really a key factor in reducing recidivism, which is one of the goals of the Women's Prison Project. We all know that education is a pathway to better employment, as well as having many other benefits for people. And this program has been incredibly successful in not only getting women through the GED process, but in getting them into community college and into the university. So we strongly urge you to pass this bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Hawaii Friends of Restorative Justice in support.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Lauren Walker, and yeah, we support this bill strongly, and we developed it in coordination with the staff at the prison and with not Honolulu Community College, but UH, the College of Social Sciences, and with Windward Community College. And we also agree with the same amendments that the Women's Prison Project made to delete McKinley Community School for Adults and delete the HRS 42F, and then also make the appropriation to Windward Community College.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks. And then we also, I just wanted to tell you, we have 23 women now who've passed the GED, and that's only because there's so many problems at the prison. It's not open all the time because of COVID, and there was construction, so it was closed for months, and that's like within 12 months of actual application. And this is just with these tutors. It wasn't with traditional teachers that were hired by the state, and that's the program was to get the state to see a new innovation, a new way of educating people, and we have 5 women in college from this program, the tutors. So yeah, we're very excited. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anybody on Zoom? Nope. Is there any? That's all the in-person testimony that we have. We have probably a half a dozen more in support. Is there anybody wishing to testify? Seeing none, members, are there any questions? Sure. Go ahead, Representative Kennedy.
Yes.
I got to attend with you and the soon-to-be director and several other folks, the recent graduation at the women's facility on the east side.
Yeah.
Are there any other qualified nonprofits to do this kind of work island-wide?
I don't know anyone that does it. Actually, we have a partner that we work with. We have another thing, RFP, for the reentry circles that sadly was canceled yesterday. And that organization we work with is called WorkNet Inc. And it's Chaz Williams. You probably know him. He probably testifies here. And they do kind of education work too. But ours was geared not just to continuing education. This project is to get women to go to college, to find more meaning, you know, and but all of these GED passes are just like icing on the cake. You know, it's just like amazing. And they've had at the women's prison, it's half the population now has been involved in education because of it.
Yeah, and you also have a mentorship program too, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anybody doing these kinds of services on Hawaii Island or on Maui or on Kauai?
I don't know anyone else who is doing this exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
not knowing, but it is, you know, it's using this cooperative learning methodology where you get to be involved. You know, that's what the women, and these women, this population, our imprisoned population only has a grade point average 5th to 6th grade. So that tells you right there, we do have a school to prison pipeline problem, obviously. They're all this low level grade. And so it's really important with them especially to have cooperative learning where they can be involved and, you know, made to feel like they have something to offer, you know, which is what cooperative learning does. It's the student gets to be, it's not teacher centered, it's student centered. So the student is like, you know, and these women come from a low, you know, haven't done well, and all of the testimonials we've received about it are, yeah, really positive.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Members, any other questions? Seeing none, we are moving on. Next up, we have Senate Bill SB 711 relating to gender parity in programs for incarcerated women. First up, we have Department of Public Safety and Support.
Yes, good morning, Chair. Good morning, Chair Hashem, Vice Chair Chen, and members of the committee. I'm Tommy Johnson, Director of Public Safety. I'll just summarize our testimony. We stand in support of this measure, and we ask that you pay particular attention to paragraph 2 on page 2 of our testimony, where we ask that the committee consider adding in $100,000 for the purposes of this measure, and also that the required report be due by June 30th, 2024. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Women's Prison Project and Support.
Thank you so much. You know, I already said that one of our main goals in Women's Prison Project is to reduce recidivism, and the way that needs to happen is for there to be adequate programming for women that really prepares them to live in the community when they live and when they leave prison, and to be able to be self-sufficient and to successfully raise their children. So we ask you to support this bill, which would help us identify where the gaps are in support that's being given to women to prepare them to leave and to live successfully in our community. And we believe that not only is beneficial for the women, but it makes our community safer, and we stop just recycling women through the prison. You know. And we also support the exact same recommendations that were made by Department of Public Safety. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Stonewall Caucus Democratic Party in support, and we have Rainbow Family 808 in support, and we have Hawaii Psychological Association in support. That's all the testimony that we have received for this bill. Is there anybody else wishing to testify? Nobody's on Zoom.
Hawaii Friends of Restorative Justice also supports this bill.
Okay,
Period.
thank you very much. Members, are there any questions? Seeing none, we're moving on. Next up, we have SB 712, SD2, relating to corrections. First up, we have Hawaii Correctional, the Commission, Hawaii Correctional System Oversight Commission. In support? Okay, next we have Office of Wellness and Resilience. in support? Nope. Next, we have University of Hawaii with comments. Not here? Am I on the right bill? Yeah.
Comments.
Okay.
We have testimony in support.
In support?
Yeah.
Sorry, okay, my testimony. Okay. Supports the intent. University of Hawaii supports the intent. Okay. Next up, we have Department of Public Safety in support. Stand on your testimony? Okay. Next, we have UPW in support. UPW, I don't see them here. Women's Prison Project in support.
Again, yes, in support. Yeah, so I just want to say a couple of things. One is that this type of program has already been successfully implemented by Windward Community College for the Hawaii State Hospital and training the staff there in trauma-informed care. And I just want to say briefly why it's important. Our prison population are a highly traumatized population, especially in the women's prison. The women there have experienced a tremendous amount of abuse since childhood and are a very high percentage of them are victims of rape and other sexual trauma. What happens when people have been traumatized is that they become reactive. They're triggered by things that happen in their environment. And so what happens with trauma-informed care training is that the people working with them are trained to recognize that women or inmates can be easily triggered, and they are able to interact with them in a way that recognizes that and reduces triggering. When people are triggered, they do one of two things. They become aggressive, or it's the fight or flight syndrome. So what studies have shown is that with trauma-informed care, aggression in the prisons are reduced, and they become safer for both the staff and for the people who are incarcerated. So thank you for letting me testify on this, and I hope that you will pass this bill. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, we have Hawaii Friends of Restorative Justice in support.
Hi, I just wanted to add too that the prisons really today, we know there are de facto mental institutions. Some statistics are like over 50% of the people in the prisons have mental health, verified mental health problems. And I know someone told me that like 50% of the women at the women's prison are on medication. So anyway, this is really important because this too is a certification through Windward Community College for ACOs, the adult correctional officers, who volunteer for it, who want to do this. And then they would get, hopefully, the department would give them like a little step up in their pay or, recognize the quality of their work because they lack so much in training, and so it's really important to keep it, a Windward Community College certificate. So it's something that they're really proud of, and, it's been going on all over the world, people doing continuing education this way, and it's really important to build up our prison system, which is kind of a big mess, frankly.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so that's all the in-person testifiers that we have. We have about a half a dozen more testimonies in support. Are there anybody else wishing to testify? Seeing none, nobody on Zoom. Members, are there any questions? Seeing none, we are moving on to SB 1161 SD1 relating to active duty military entitlements. First up, we have Hawaii National Guard in opposition.
Good morning, Chair. Vice Chair, I'm General Ross. I'm the Director of Joint Staff for the Hawaii National Guard, representing General Hara and State Department of Defense. We stand on our testimony in opposition of this bill as written, and submitted comments with respect to the changes that are required in order to clarify, validate, and fully understand the execution of this particular order.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Michael Galoyu in support. That's all the testimony that we have. Members, are there any questions? Seeing none, we're going to move on to one more. So last bill on our agenda is SB 1163 SD1 relating to Civil Air Patrol. First up, we have DoD Hawaii Emergency Management and Support. Via Zoom. Are they on? So, well, DoD's testimony and support is noted. They are having technical difficulties. And we have one more, Mike Goloyu, individual in support. That's all the testimony that we have received on this measure. Members, are there any questions to someone that can't answer you on Zoom? Seeing none, we're going to recess for decision making. Okay, good morning, everybody. This is the Committee on Corrections and Military and Veterans Affairs. We're reconvening for decision making. First up, we have SB 710 SD2. Chair's recommendation is to delete all references to McKinley Community School and delete the reference to the grant under HRS 42. We're gonna insert a blank appropriation for the education and reentry program. So, and we're going to have the program administered by the University of Hawaii Windward Community College. Funds shall be expended by the University of Hawaii Community College system. And we're going to insert into the committee report $225,000 for the allocation. Good. Any questions, comments? Basically what everybody recommended. No, seeing none. Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, members, we're voting on Senate Bill 710, SD2. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Ganadin?
Aye.
Representative Ichiyama is excused. Representative Morikawa? Representative Poi Poi.
Aye.
Representative Takayama.
Aye.
Representative Souza.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much, members. I forgot to mention that we're gonna defect date all the bills to June 30th, 3000, to go into effect 1,000 years from now. That's gonna go across, if I forget to mention this again, it'll be for all the bills going forward. Next up, we have SB 711 relating to gender parity study. The chair's recommendation is to change the deadline of the report to June 30, 2024. Put zero out the dollar amount, put $100,000 into the committee report, and that's about it. I would like to see if you can expand. Actually, you know what? I'll talk to you guys later about this. That's it. Members, any questions or comments? See none? Vice Chair for the vote.
Members voting on SB 711 SD2. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments, noting the excused absence of Representative Ichiyama. Are there anybody with reservations or no's? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Okay, next up, thank you very much, members. Next up, we have SB 712 SD2. Chair's recommendation is to pass this with a defective date of June 30, 3000, zero out the amount in the bill, and put $100,000 into the committee report. And that's it. Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much. Vice Chair for the vote.
Right, members voting on SB 712 SD2. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments, noting the excused absence of Representative Ichiyama. Are there any reservations or no's? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Okay, next up we have SB 1161. Chair's recommendation is to defer this, being that nobody really testified in support. Next up we have SB 1163 relating to Civil Air Patrol. Chair's recommendation is to pass this with a defect date of June 30, 3000. And that's about it. It's a pretty straightforward bill with just a blank appropriations. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Right, members, we're voting on SB 1163 SD1. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments, noting the excused absence of Representative Ichiyama. Do you have any members with reservations or no's? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much, members. We are adjourned.